Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle. As if you're new, welcome and welcome back to my subscribers. Happy New Year once again. I don't know when I'll stop telling you guys Happy New Year, but Happy New Year. I'm so happy it's a new year. You know, that feeling of freshness, that feeling of hope, that feeling of, I can do anything because it's a chance to start all over again. Yeah, I just love that new year feeling, and yeah, I want to spread the joy and the positivity and the happiness to you guys. So, Happy New Year! Now, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the books that I've read in December. So today is my December wrap-up video. Now, if you've seen my December TBR, you'd know that I tried to read 4 books. I will link it down below if you haven't seen it as yet. Unfortunately, I was not able to read all 4 of the books on my December TBR list because of so many reasons, but the main one was because of time constraints. Last month, I packed up, I moved apartments, I moved out of the country, and that was a whole lot of stress and a lot of drama, and that took so much time. So I was only able to read half of my list. So yeah, I'm trying not to beat myself up too much, but life happens, and we just have to roll with it. And yeah, at least I got some reading done, and I'm glad about that. So the 2 books that I read out of my 4 would be, and as you guys may know if you saw my last reading vlog, Born a Crime. I read this one by Trevor Noah, which was a memoir, and I absolutely loved it. As you guys know, if you've seen my reading vlog, you'd see how much I gush about this book, how much I gush about Mr. Noah, who's just fantastic. He's a comedian from South Africa, if you did not know, and this is a memoir basically about his childhood growing up in South Africa as a mixed race child during apartheid, when basically being born a mixed race child of a black parent and a white parent was actually illegal. And it details all of his adventures, all of the drama that he got himself into, and yeah, basically stories of his life growing up with his mother, who was a single parent, and yeah, his other extended family members, all the antics he got up to in school and with his friends. And yeah, it was very, very enjoyable. I never read a book, a memoir, that I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed this one. So, if you haven't read it, you definitely have to read Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. I would promote this book until, I don't know, the end of time, if possible. But yes, I love this book so much. And the second book I read was Christmas in Paris by the glare, sorry about that. But I read this one, Christmas in Paris, by the author Anita Hughes. In a nutshell, I did not like it. I did not like it very much. I'm not even sure if I liked it a little. Okay, basically, I thought it was gonna be this nice little Christmassy romance, about these characters who fall in love while on vacation in Paris. Because, they both were recovering from a broken heart. They were both supposed to be getting married, but their weddings were put off or called off, and they both decided to still have their, well, not really honeymoon anymore, but they still decided to go to the hotel where they were supposed to have their honeymoon, but separately. I never read anything by this author, Anita Hughes, before, so I didn't know what to expect. I don't know if her other books are like this. After reading this book, I went to read other reviews just to check to see, if, maybe it was only me who had the thoughts that I had about this book, but I was not the only one who did not like this book. I don't want to spoil it. Let's just say the writing style I did not like. I found the dialogue to be very, very unrealistic. Like, one character would say something, and then the next character would say something which is not even related to what the other character said. And it's just a whole lot of exposition, but through dialogue. I don't want to get into a whole big review on this book, but I just want to tell you guys it was so unrealistic. The main character, Isabel, she is supposed to be so intelligent and good with numbers. As a job, she's this like data analyst, but she decides to follow what a fortune teller tells her about marriage. To that, she follows this fortune teller's advice like it's the Bible, like, word for word. She's like rooted in it, and nobody could tell any different. She decides that she has to fall in love and all of this takes place within a week. She hunts down this French aristocrat. We don't see her really mourning over her failed relationship. In fact, she mentions her previous fiance more than her current, well, the current ex-fiance, and it's just unrealistic, very, very unrealistic. I mean, yes, it's fiction, but at the same time, it needs to make sense, and it just didn't make sense to me. And her relationship with the other main character, Neil, who she meets in Paris as well, and who I thought, they'd have this lovely romance. To me, it kind of didn't make sense either, because for the most of the book, she is hunting this other French aristocrat. And we don't really see their relationship going anywhere until almost towards the end. And all of a sudden, Neil realizes that he loves her. And then she realizes that she loves him. And when I read that, I was thinking, what? Like, where did that even come from? It seemed like they're just going to be friends throughout the whole book until it just reached that point. And it's like, oh my God, we're in love. And it's like, how and why? Because it's like, she's just so ditzy and she's supposed to be so smart. She decides to just hunt down this next French aristocrat and marry him just because the fortune teller tells her that she's going to marry an aristocrat. It just didn't make any sense. I mean, I suppose it's the genre of the book, it's the type of book. That's what I thought. But like I said, after I finished reading this and I looked up other reviews, many other people had the same opinion. So I was like relieved because I was glad I wasn't the only one who thought this way. I thought maybe I was being too harsh, but But I saw reviews where other people liked it as well. I mean, I could see why you may like reading this only if you like take out the part of your brain that deals with logic. In order to like this book, I think you need to read it with the mindset that it's very, very, I don't want to say lame, but you need to suspend your disbelief. Remove your brain to read this, to enjoy it. I mean, the cover is like, again, one of the probably best things about this book. It's actually deceptive, it looks so nice and Christmassy. And they hardly even mention Christmas. There's nothing much in here about Christmas. It's a whole lot of exposition which doesn't really flow, and it's a lot of details about historical places and sculptures and statues, like things you don't really need to know, to get the story going. And the author also does a lot of name dropping, as in she talks about these fancy places. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, going to fancy places and mention all these designer things, but I just think it was overdone. I mean, there's a lot of designer stuff like Versace and Jimmy Choo's and all these big designer names. I don't know if she was paid to mention them or not, but it's just filled with that, and it's unrealistic because this character, she's just throwing away money buying all these things, and for what? So basically, I don't find the main character Isabel to be relatable at all. Maybe if I had an unlimited bank account and no real feelings for the guy I was supposed to marry, maybe I might have related to her in this, but it was just too unrealistic for me. Unrealistic and just, didn't make sense. And all that detail about these fancy places and fancy dresses and shoes, and there are things I needed to look up to understand what she was talking about, but I was just so fed up of this book that I didn't bother to look them up. I was like, let me just finish this book. So I kind of struggled to get through this one. When I finished reading it, I was like, finally, good, done, finished. So I don't think I will be reading anything else by this author anytime soon. If you've read it, please let me know, and let me know what you thought about it if you did. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad, horrible, terrible book. No. It's just I did not like it. I thought it was too unrealistic, and because of that, I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, which is a very low rating for me. So yes, those were the 2 books that I read. I was not able to read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert and Land of Love and Drowning by Tiffany Yannick. Those were the other 2 books on my December TBR, but I moved them forward and I will be reading them in January, as you will see from my January TBR video. So guys, those were the books that I read in December. Like I said, I only got to read 2 out of the 4, but it wasn't bad in terms of how much I read because of the fact that I was so busy with moving and packing up and all that drama and Christmas and all of that stuff. So at least I got a bit of reading done, and a little bit is better than none at all. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do just click that red button and also click the notification bell so you'd always know whenever I post a new video. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. You can find me at Giselle_Mills. You can also find me on Instagram at Caribbean Books. I also have a website which is GiselleMillsBooks.com. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!